Hello, everyone, and welcome to Indiana Golf Magazine. I'm Brian Hammonds. The boys' high school golf season is now underway, and the team to beat again this year is Garen Catholic as they try to make history in 2024. That is this month's top story, brought to you by Chariot Automotive Group. The Garen Catholic Golden Eagles have won the last two IHSAA state championships. No team has won three straight. The Golden Eagles are hoping to become the first.
I think the expectation is to challenge them with that opportunity. We're the current possible three-peats, and that's a wonderful goal to have. I think that's not going to happen to any school in Indiana again. Probably take 15 or 20 years to get somebody to do two in a row again. So we're excited about that opportunity.
Garen Catholic lost a special player to graduation, Jacob Medleski, who is now starring at Notre Dame. But the Golden Eagles are still loaded with talent, led by the defending individual state champion, University of Cincinnati commit Leo Wessel, his sophomore brother Eli, and a deeper roster than in years past.
I like that we're a little bit deeper, I feel like this year. Our talent goes a little bit deeper, whereas last year we had, 5 or 6 guys. Now we have a lot more. We go more into the 10s and 12s.
We've got a really strong crew of freshmen coming in. I had 2 freshmen yesterday that played extremely well and played just about as well as anybody in our first qualifying day. So, I think we're still a team to be reckoned with for sure.
And the preseason polls seem to agree. The Golden Eagles are the unanimous number 1 in the rankings, followed by Hamilton Southeastern and last year's runner-up to Garen Catholic, Westfield. The Carmel Greyhounds are ranked 10th, and that makes 4 teams from Hamilton County ranked in the top 10. Our spotlight this month shines on our game. Now that we're starting to get back on the golf course, what areas should we focus on to help our scoring? The answers might surprise you. I'm joined now by John Sherman of Practical Golf and the author of the book, The 4 Foundations of Golf, How to Build a Game That Lasts a Lifetime. And John, a lot of interesting stats in your book that could really change the way we think about our golf games. And the first is that if you want to lower your scores, making more birdies isn't necessarily the answer, is it?
No, I think I was led to believe that for a long time. But when you look at what separates, even a scratch golfer from a 15-20 handicap, it's not birdies. So even the top 1% of golfers are only making 1 to 2 birdies per round. Even PGA Tour players, 3 to 4 at most. Everyone else is averaging well under 1 birdie per round. So the big differentiator in scoring is, and this isn't as fun, people don't want to hear this, but it's the truth. It's really making less double bogeys or those big mistake holes. That's what separates the higher handicap players from the lower handicap players.
The old adage is you drive for show and you putt for dough, but that's not really the case, is it?
Yeah, I think we were all led to believe that putting was more important than it was because it kind of solidifies our score for the hole. But what we know now is that thanks to the work of Mark Brody with strokes gained is that 2/3 of the scoring differential for pretty much every level of golfer can be explained by their tee game and approach game. So iron play is the biggest separator of scoring potential. And it's not to say that putting and wedge play is not important. It is. But for most players, they kind of hit a ceiling with that part of the game. And, it's hard to get incremental gains, whereas the bigger gains in handicap improvement can come with your irons and driver. And of course, golfers can track their own stats to figure it out on their own.
Well, the one stat that you think we should be paying the most attention to is greens in regulation.
Absolutely. So, most traditional stats are not great predictors of scoring on their own. So if you told me how many putts you had per round or how many fairways you hit, I wouldn't be able to guess how well you played. But if you told me how many greens you hit, then I'd have a much better understanding. And greens in regulation is a great correlator with scoring potential. So I tell people, if you want to shoot your lowest scores, you need to build your game around hitting more greens. And that means a lot of things. It's tee shot strategy, approach shot strategy, where you spend your practice time. But that's the one thing I could tell you is that if you make that number go up, your scores will go down. I can pretty much guarantee everyone that.
You also show in your book that most people need to take more club for their approach shot.
Yes. So I've worked with a ton of stat tracking companies that have, millions of golf shots in their database from golfers of all levels. And the one thing, it doesn't matter if you're 5 handicap 20, most golfers are missing the majority of their greens on the short side. And as you get better, you do that less often, but almost any handicap level very rarely misses long. So a very simple thing that most golfers could do is simply take more club. And I often tell them, use a GPS watch when you play or some type of GPS device and pick that number closer to the back of the green to give you a little bit of wiggle room, because most golfers are not going to hit the ball too well. They're usually not going to hit it well enough. So that, again, goes in with my greens and regulation thing, is that if you want to hit more greens and lower your scores, a lot of people need to take more club and be more truthful with how far they're hitting the ball.
All of us, I think, when we get a wedge in our hand, we think, okay, I got to knock the flag down now. But again, the stats say differently.
Yep. So I work with one of the best wedge players in the world, Mackenzie Hughes. He's unbelievable, always in the top 10. Not even he can put the ball inside an 8-foot window all the time, as good as he is. So I tell, when you look at the stats for quote unquote normal golfers, if you could get the ball on the putting surface somewhere between 10 to 20 feet away from the hole with a lot of your wedge shots, you've done well for yourself. Where golfers get into trouble, and this gets back to the double bogey thing, is it's the chunks, the skulls. Maybe if they're short-sided, they try and get a little too cute with it. So if you can just get a wedge technique that gets you on the putting surface most of the time and limits the damage, saying, I'm going to make bogey it worse here and give myself a chance for par, then you've conquered a large part of good wedge play. So don't put so much pressure on yourself to give yourself like a 3-foot putt. It's just not realistic.
Well, again, the name of the book is The 4 Foundations of Golf, How to Build a Game That Lasts a Lifetime. A lot of great stuff in there. John Sherman, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Brian.
Coupled with that knowledge and some lessons, then you should be ready to go this spring, which brings us to our tip of the month, brought to you by Correct to Compete. The subject is speed training and how to do it properly.
Hi, my name's John Hoover. I'm here for the tip of the month, and one of the hot topics right now in golf is speed training. And done properly, speed training is very beneficial because we can gain distance as far as we hit a golf ball. One of the things I'm seeing as an instructor is a little bit of deterioration in the golf swing from mechanics, club pass, some of the things that we look at to get consistent results on the club face. I have Keith Settle here with us today. He is our TPI fitness expert here at Correct to Compete to talk a little bit about this.
So speed is king. We all know that. We all try to get a little more distance off the tee. It's probably the number one thing we hear when somebody comes in and asks for instruction and guidance. So one of the things we just want to make sure you approach that safely. And there's a lot of good programs out there. The Stack System, the Super Speed Training Program, the
Ripstick's
another really good one. And then understand that each program follows a curriculum. There's levels, there's warm-ups, there's an understanding of what full intent is versus just swinging out of your shoes. So the key to this whole thing is to pick a program, stick with it. This isn't going to happen overnight. It's a training program to increase power and speed. So seek out a fitness professional, a golf professional that will guide you through that program. And really, we don't want that program to hurt your swing.
If you like this, click on the link below. We'll be more than happy to show you our program here at Correct to Compete, a much more in-depth program of what we do on speed training.
Another element in the magazine that we're introducing this month is our featured course, where we highlight some of the great courses you can play throughout the state of Indiana. We begin in Franklin at the Legends Golf Club. Since 1991, the Legends Golf Club in Franklin, Indiana, has been one of the top public golf courses in the state. And it's not hard to see why. Jim Fazio designed a challenging, yet fun, 27-hole layout.
What we told him was, We want a golf course that's capable of hosting championship events, but at the same time, we realize that the bulk of our play is going to be public golfers, and we need a course that's going to be playable, fun for those people, but yet challenging for the best players that we can host.
And Fazio hit a home run. Over the years, the Legends has hosted more championship events than any other course in Indiana. But don't be intimidated by its pedigree. It's friendly to all ages and skill levels, with 5 sets of tees ranging from 5,200 to 7,200 yards.
Our most forward tees, I find, are very playable. We have a lot of senior men and ladies that enjoy the green tees out here, and it kind of takes some of the bunkers and some of the tough areas out of play and makes it real enjoyable round.
And with 27 holes, there's always room for your group at the Legends, and you'll get around quickly.
When you're playing as many players as we do, pace of play becomes a primary issue. And what I really love is on a 350 player day, we get people around here in 4 hours or less, which is phenomenal.
The Legends is also a great deal. It's only $59 to play on the weekends. And ask about their terrific membership offerings. So, if you're looking for a great course to play or a place to call your golf home, check out the Legends Golf Club and join those who come from miles around to play this gem on a regular basis.
I love Legends. It's always in great shape, and the speed of play is fantastic.
I can say that Legend is my favorite course around here because it's really clean and well maintained.
The Legends Golf Club in Franklin, Indiana. It truly is a legendary course in the Hoosier State. And here's a look at what's coming up in April. It's now tournament season, and it gets underway April 8th and 9th with the PGA Tournament of Champions at the Sagamore Club in Noblesville. The IGA Mid-Amateur Team Championship is played April 14th and 15th at the Country Club of Indianapolis. The Southern Open is April 22nd in Evansville, and the junior season is getting started with the Kokomo Girls Junior Spring Series, April 27th and 28th. Of course, you can get all of the tournament information at indianagolf.org. And that will do it for this episode. I'm Brian Hammonds. We'll see you again next month for Indiana Golf Magazine.